I find myself telling people who are newly diagnosed is there's no good time to get a diagnosis of MS, but if you have to be diagnosed now in 2015 is an exciting time because we really are starting to get at the underpinnings of this disease. We really understand so much more about what makes it tick than we did 10 years ago or 20 years ago. One of the exciting trials that we've just finished here at UCLA is the effects of sex hormones and sex chromosomes. People are starting to do clinical trials with stem cells. My approach to treating people with MS is to be able to prevent attacks. And the way we do that is by employing a class of medicines called disease-modifying therapies, or DMTs. And these are drugs that interfere with the immune system's ability to attack the nerves. But I think the fact that we have disease-modifying therapies gives people more choices, gives them a little more control over this disease, and may enable them to have a better quality of life. One of the first things MR told us was that the disease can be active on MRI even when it's clinically silent. In my practice, I'll start somebody on a drug and then I follow them clinically and I'll repeat a scan. If I'm very worried about them in 6 months, if not, I'll repeat a scan in a year. Again, not every drug works for every person, and it may be that the first drug the patient tries, either we think it's not working or they may not be able to tolerate it. What we would like to do ultimately, we'd like to be able to tell who's going to respond best to which drug. I'd like to be able to say in the future, Gabe, we've analyzed your particular genes or molecules and we know that you're going to respond back to this drug, and that's the drug I'm going to suggest for you. The next great frontier, the next great therapeutic breakthroughs for MS are going to be in the field of neural repair and neuroprotection. What our hope is, and I think this will happen eventually, we're going to be able to stop MS dead in its tracks, and we're going to be able to repair the nerve damage. And when we can do that, we'll have a cure. And I think that's going to happen.
That sounds exciting.
The other aspect of wellness that I just want to mention is emotional wellness and spiritual wellness, and we know that this is very important too. It turns out that people with MS are very large consumers of complementary and alternative therapies. Acupuncture sometimes relieves symptoms. Acupuncture sometimes is good for pain, sometimes is good for bladder function. Many of my patients say that they get a lot of benefit out of Pilates, that Pilates helps them feel better, move better. Many of my patients like yoga, and there are actually controlled studies that have shown that yoga can improve fatigue and improve flexibility. So there are a lot of what may be considered alternative and complementary strategies, and we encourage them to do that.
My biggest problem with yoga is that I have not found a masculine-looking way to carry a yoga mat.
Well, maybe you could develop a yoga man purse or something, I don't know.